Greetings, programs. This is Let's Code a Full 90, where we'll take the next hour and a half digging into some source code and try to make the world a little bit of a better place. I'm your host, Rod Menching, and today we're back in the Wix toolset picking up exactly where we left off last week. Do you remember where that was? I do. It's right here with this red dot. Let's go ahead and make it bigger. No, not that one. Can I make this one bigger? I can't. This right here. This incremental build package, with Windows native app with no edits is failing again because we added a software tag to it. That's what we're going to be tackling today. I'm hoping we get all the way through this. I have no idea what we're going to find on the other side of it, but I am excited to get there. I think that's actually the big point, is I'm really excited to get to the other side of what's on this thing, because if so, then we knock out 3 of the oldest bugs that I've been hunting or holding on to in Wix 4 since the beginning of time. It's been fantastic having you guys with me as we were going through this week by week. It's been a lot more fun, there's no doubt about that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this failure. So we're seeing, we have this thing set up where we go ahead and do a build, and then we do another build, and we expect the hashes between the 2 builds of the output files to be identical because there should have been no edits and no changes across the builds. And to debug these things, we've been looking at the ms build log file that gets spat out for us and figuring out what caused what tripped us up. And then we have to go dig in the Wix toolset to figure out what caused that. So I think the first step here is to run this test, and I'm going to run it one more time. We had a long time, we had that incremental failure where the build would fail every other time. We tracked that down to the time difference in the granularity of time measured in cab files and the way they were stored in merge modules. That is probably not the issue here, because this has been consistently failing for us every single time. Well, ever since we got all the tag stuff done last week. So I left all of the debugging information I had for from the last episodes, 2 episodes ago, so we may end up using that. And I think the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and jump into this test. So let's go debug it. It's consistently failing, which is a good thing. All right, so the first build's no big deal. We want to get to the second build. Yeah, we don't care about that breakpoint. Go ahead and run a build here. Wait. All right, great. 5 second plus all the hashing, something like that. All right, so now we're going to do the second build. Normally we'd expect this to happen immediately, and it's not. So let's go ahead and I'm going to step into it, even though there's a breakpoint sitting here waiting for me. I want to look at the project path. We're going to find in this project path the build log from the previous run. There it is. I don't care about that build log. I want to go ahead and run this build, and I'd love to see it take milliseconds, or maybe some seconds, certainly not minutes or whatever. So here we go. Build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's too fast. It's only 3 seconds elapsed, but it's still longer. It feels like it's longer than what an incremental build should take. So let's go ahead and take a look at the bin log. We'll spin up the size for you guys and ignore the restore point. Go down here, look for Wix, core compile. Yep, there we go. And it is saying the Japanese SWID tag is newer than the output file something. Is newer than the ENUS cab. Interesting. All right, so last episode, I think it was just last episode, we started with me digging into the theory that maybe there was some cross-pollination issues between English and Japanese. And in the end, we weren't able to get any of those things to reproduce. But here now, we do have a case of a file being generated during the build, ending up cross-pollinating and creating problems for us. I'm glad we caught this with the dual build here, where we build from one project. We have localization for these 2 files. We end up building 2 MSIs, one for ENUS and one for JJP, US English and Japanese. And so we now need to figure out how to tackle this problem. So this may mean, my initial thought is that this may mean that we need to solve the problem of solve the cross-pollination problem where en artifacts are interacting with the JAJP artifacts. I'm not exactly sure how to tackle that problem if that is the issue, but that may be what we're looking at here. All right, so let's kind of like sit and think about the issue, the problem a little bit more. The enus build is first. That goes through and it does its build. Let's go ahead and look at that output folder, wherever it is. Let's see here. So all this got built to obj, debug, enus. Yeah, so here we can see our tracking files. Okay, and we generated as part of the enus this swid tag file, which is the enus file. All right, not a problem. And then we have this swid tag as another file that got generated during the build. Now, another way to solve this is to make sure that these, just like with the merge modules, to make sure that these generated files are not being considered inputs. All right, we have a couple different things to look at. All right, so this was generated at 12:33 here, and the enus one was generated at 12:33. All right, we have to get down to super duper time. Let's go ahead and look at the properties. The cab was generated at 3:02. Let's go ahead and look at the Japanese one real quick. I trust that MS Build is doing the right thing, and these numbers are different or later. 12:38. Yeah, just a second later. Okay, so since we say, well, all right, so then let's look at our tracking files so that we can see, here's the English. Oh, look, I've got the new notepad. It's now dark mode for us. Let's see, I'll make this a bit bigger. Is that helpful? I don't know, maybe. All right, does it have the title, the name in the top? Yes, but it's really small. All right, the top one is enus. The bottom one is JAJP. All right, let's go ahead and look at these. All right. Yeah, see, the swid tag is being listed here as an input to the build process, but it's not being listed as an intermediate generated file. Aha. Aha. That may be the first thing to look at. So if we remember correctly, this is the same problem we had the merge modules here. Before these merge module files, or these actually come from Wixlibs, this is the merge module file, was being listed as an input, when really this file's timestamp gets generated, or this file gets extracted from this merge module, which means it gets the timestamp that it gets, whenever it gets pulled out, which is not necessarily the same as what the input of the merge module should represent. And that created a problem. So we changed the code in Wix toolset. It's a change we have here still, where we made sure that all the intermediates are not tracked as inputs. So the question is, why is the swid tag here being generated as an input and not an intermediate? Because it definitely is an intermediate, and it should be an intermediate on top of that so that it gets cleaned correctly. So that is probably our first and biggest bug to tackle, is to let's go get this swid tag to become a intermediate file, which might be easy once we find the place that has the swid tag. All right, let's open Wix 4. All right, here we go. Back into the core tool set. I don't need the tests right here, right now. Besides, nCrunch works better on these unit tests inside here. Anyway, all right, now we have to go figure out where the swid tag is generated. We want to look at it both for the MSI and for the merge module. So we're going to go look in the backends here. And have to remember where we generate the swid tag. All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna try one thing. Whoa, that was interesting. Control-Shift-F. Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and look for swid tag, the extension .swid tag. I probably will have it on. Let's go say find all, because somewhere we're appending the swid tag extension, I think. Or not. Maybe this one, find all. Okay. What am I looking in? I'm looking at current project. Let's look in the entire solution. It's possible the swid tag extension is being done in the compiler. Well, this tag fixture is one thing. Bundle with tag, compiler core. Yep, there it is. So the compiler is doing that for us. All right, let's go look at where the compiler is doing it. There we have the Wix bundle tag symbol. So let's go ahead and find all the uses of the Wix bundle tag. All right, that'll show us where it's being used. Right, so in the bind bundle, bind, that's burn. Bring the music down a little bit. All right, let's see. Burn, where's the Windows installer using this? Oh, that's the bundle. Of course, that's the bundle tag symbol. Is there also a Wix package tag symbol? Nope. All right, let's go look for all the tag symbols. Everywhere tag symbols. Product. Oh, seriously? Who let me call this a product tag? We've been going through the documentation all these weeks, replacing the word product with the word package, and here I am putting the word product in the tag symbol. I don't know how I feel about that. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring up our handy dandy notepad, which is collecting things for us to do. Let's go ahead and blow this up so you guys can, whoop, maybe not that much. And I'm gonna add a line already in episode 12. Wow, Maxwell 12. 1. Consider renaming Wix product tag symbol to Wix package tag symbol. Like, really consider that. Like, who did that? What was I thinking? That's terrible. Because clearly when I'm searching for it, thinking it's going to be here, I don't even think to look for the word Wix product tag symbol. That's just terrible. All right, we're going to look for Wix product tag symbol. Wix product tag, Windows installer, bind. All right, so here we go. We find all tags. If there are any, we call process package command process package software tags command. And you see, even here it's called package software tags. All right, we're gonna have to fix this. This cannot stand. What was I thinking? How did I get through all this without staring at that and going, that's a terrible, terrible mistake? Anyway, berating myself. Okay, so we're looking for where this file being generated is added as an intermediate file. Path combine, working folder, create the working folder, path intermediate field. Okay. So this is where we create the file and then we write a whole bunch of XML to it because SWID tags are XML files. And yeah, all right then. This says we just need to track the file here. I think that's all we have to do. We don't have the tracker in here, I'm sure. Let's go. Oh, what did I call it? I got to bring it in here. Intermediate section, here, software tags, software. Do I want to bring it in? Where do I want to bring the interface in? I don't know. By file tracker, right? Nope. Now I've forgotten. Let's go up one. We'll have one here. I tracked files. Oh, I file transfer. It's the tracked files. Okay. And these are created. Tracked files, add this. Add range extract. Windows R backend helper. Probably where it's at. That's probably what we need. Okay. Nope. All right, actually, let's see if this will add it for me the nice way. Come back here, come back here. Ugh, keep adding that comma. Alright, I did all the work to have it there. All right, let's see. Can you auto add this to the constructor for me? Add parameter of that. Generate with property. No, just add it. I'll take care of the rest. Thank you. And you can pop those up to there. All right, great. I don't think I need all of that. We'll just call it backend helper. Thank you. Yes, assign a property just like everybody else, but please make it private. Yeah, okay. Now I have the backend helper. Oh, we have to return the track files, of course. All right. Let's see, there's a loop here, so I may have to return multiple. All right, tracked files dot add this dot backend helper track file, please. The path is the place where we said we're going to put this intermediate file. Tracked file type is intermediate. Yep. And source line numbers comes from the symbol. Which symbol? It comes from the tag row.source line numbers. Yes. So that's where that tracked file came from. Great. Now we need to send the track files back out. Sorry, tracked file. Sorry, fat fingering a lot of stuff here today. New list, I track file. Please. Thank you. All right, now we're tracking them. We need to bring them back. And let's go make them look. Track files, add range, command dot tracked files. Let's go look and make this look the same as all the others. Yep, that's what I want it to look like, tracked files. And if we go look at the execution of this command, he's going to do the same thing I just did, tracked files list, and then assign me my tracked files before I finish. Great. I want to be consistent with all the other code. It's been a long time since we looked at that. There we go. Weeks and weeks and weeks only. All right, there we go. Now we need this guy to be, please create it. Generate property, yes, please. Public private set, perfect. You got that one right. Thank you very much. Awesome. Come back here, tracked files, command, symbols of that type. Tracked files. Control R, Control R. What's that? Rename, replace? Control R, Control R. Okay. Technically speaking, I don't need to be a Windows installer backend handler. It can just be a normal backend helper, because backend helper has all that I need. Yeah, track that file. Do I want to track it? Well, right, the tag file. Track it, create it, rock and roll. Yeah. It's good to see you, Bob. Glad you're here, by the way. Even if I didn't quite get the Control R reference. I guess I could bang it right here. Control R, rename track files. All right, that's the command then. How was I doing it? I don't know. Anyway, muscle memory. I don't even know how I was doing that. Probably made it by hand. Okay, that's great. So now we are getting this SWID tag tracked as a intermediate file. Great. Let's go look at the bundle one. Do I still have it open? I don't. Does it look like I kept it open? That's unfortunate. All right, let's see. Wix bundle tag symbol. All right, process software tags. Yes, you. It's basically the same thing in the bundle, isn't it? Yes, it is. All right, I have this just like this. Yeah, okay, that's easy. Okay, cool. So we're gonna say to the process bundle software tags, and bundle software tags roll up all the software tags of any MSIs contained in them and things like that. So it's this process bundle software tag is very similar but slightly different. And we're gonna pass him, it's not backend helper, ta-da. Add that into the world. Yep, great. Make him a property, and I wish you would make him private like everybody else, but that's okay. There's a world of thought that says these guys should all be fields, and I'm not against that either. All right, and we also need to get tracked files, but we'll do that next. Okay, so let's go ahead and create tracked files equals new list of, not that, I tracked file. Thank you. This dot tracked files equals tracked files. Woohoo! Yes, please do generate that. And last time you generated it quite well. You just need an extra space there. Yeah, and we'll go with this. Read-only collection. There we go. Okay, great. Tracked files, create tag file. Oh, you're using a memory stream. Oh, wait. Oh, dude, this doesn't create a file on disk at all. This is a much better way of doing it. Here I went all this work and I didn't have to because I just assumed it was going to be the same. All right, so what does it do? It does, like I said, it goes through all the MSIs and collects any of the software tag information to create a roll-up. But what I'd forgotten is that when we get to the bundle tag, it goes ahead and creates this tag file, but it's not. It's just creating an XML writer. Yeah, and it where does it, oh, and it writes to, or sorry, create tag file. It gets passed in the stream to this. And so the memory stream is the stream. So we just say, hey, create the tag file in memory. And then we blast it all into the XML and we don't have track files at all. So bundles don't have this problem. Wow. All that work for nothing. That's okay. We'll take it all out and come back. And you, right? You, and then will you remove this? Let's see, change signature. Yes, remove. Okay. I don't do that very often, but that's kind of cool. And then there are no tracked files to be added, and then clean up my namespace. All right, cool. I did nothing here. We didn't have to do anything for bundles at all. All right, now these little red dots mean ncrunch is running over in the background somewhere, so hopefully it's gonna come accrue, and it's back in green again. Yay. That's awesome. Okay. So what we did was the MSI needed a file on disk because it ends up being put into the cab, and to do that we have to drop the file. But we have now marked that file as an intermediate file because it is. It's just part of our own build process. It should live across builds, so it can be reused, but it should not be considered an input. It should be considered an intermediate. So if the rest of our fixes from previously all worked, then all I need to do is build Wix again and then go back to the end-to-end tests and build and run them again, and we may have it working. All right, so this is not something that I've got working well enough yet that I'm not happy with, but we're going to try running the Wix command here. Let's see, is that enough? Let's see. I'm going to go make sure that the Wix, all the Wix tools are out of here. Yes, thank you, just in case. That's my make sure that I've cleaned everything up. I've been thinking about adding to the all the commands and the different layers of the build process a clean command so that they would clean the things that they know about, very similar to the overall build clean, except only for their layer. And oh, I thought I already did this. Import devenv.17, then run books. Okay. All right, hopefully this won't take but a minute. All right, so if this works, then we pop back over to our end-to-end tests, which are actually still running. That's not gonna work out well for us. Let's go ahead and close those. I'm gonna close that all together and make sure everything gets cleaned up. Second, I'm gonna sneeze here, I think. Nope, maybe not, maybe. Yep, all right, all good. Past that emergency and on to the next. Woo, all right. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. It was nice that the SWID tag turned out to be just one more example of the same things we have with merge modules. The files being tracked as inputs and intermediates and messing up the whole incremental build. That's really positive because that means all these incremental fixes are building on the same pattern, on the same fundamentals through the whole system, and all we have to do is apply it from Wixlibs to merge modules to now to SWID tags, and we get to go check this one thing off. All right, now for the moment of truth. Did I clean enough beforehand that the end-to-end test can be opened in a separate layer and pick up the new files? I think so. Let's see. Yes, here we are. Do we just run the test? Wait, where are my tests? Thank you. That took entirely too long. Oh, how I wish I could get nCrunch to run these tests for me. All right, we're gonna run them all. Who knows, maybe it'll pass. Maybe it'll pass. Anybody want to put odds on passing? This is, I think, where the Twitch streamers throw up those emotes and all that kind of stuff saying, yay, pass, no pass, and people vote. But I'm not cool enough to have emotes floating around on the screen and stuff like that. I don't even know if YouTube does that. But definitely more emotable on the other side. All right. Oh, it's running. That's the test right here, the one that's running right now. It's green. It's green, it's green, it's green. Okay, great. So I'm still going to debug this test with no edits. Yeah, with edits. No, with no edits. We're going to run this test. Yeah, I remember not run. Oh, come on, Rob. Debug. I remember when I ran the test with edits and I was expecting no edits, and I was like, pulling my hair out, trying to figure out why it was not, why it was rebuilding again. That was not fun. All right, we don't care about the first build. Carry on first build, carry on, do your thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If only it went that fast. There we go. Still, 6-second build. All right, now we're going to open this path again. Bring it up. Drop it down. Actually, this is probably the same folder. All right, cool. All right, I'm just gonna delete this bin log because I can. And I'm gonna close these two files that we were looking at before to let it run. Okay, here we go. One more build. I deleted the bin log. Expect one to show up again. Wow, that was a second, 2 seconds. That might be enough to be considered incremental build, right? This one, man, still 2 seconds is when it normally takes 3. Yeah, make this bigger. Core compile, 2 core compiles. All files are up to date. All files are up to date. Fantastic, fantastic. 10 top most expensive tasks. All right, so restore. This is on incremental build. Restore, update project reference metadata. This is ours. I have a note back from, I don't know, episode 8 or something like that. To go dig into that at some point. CL? Really? You had to run CL to figure out that there's no work to do? Really? Let's see, can you show me? No, you won't jump there? No, won't jump there. Oh well. Get project tag frames. All right, these are all measured in milliseconds in the end. Duration, 1.8 seconds. All right. Where the whole build is 3 seconds and the incremental build is 1.8. It feels a little, no, it's longer than 3 seconds, but yeah. I know I'm way late, but I have to ask, where did you get that import devenv.cmd command from? I wrote it. That's not exactly true. Just a second, let me try to bring it up on another monitor. I don't know what's in it when I'm gonna show you my profile. There's no secrets in there. Okay, cool. Import devenv, a whole bunch of posh prompt type things set up so I get my pretty colors. with my Git stuff in it. All right, so what is it? This is what you're looking for here. Let's go ahead and pop this down, drop it up in code. Tell you what, I'll try putting it in the show notes, Zach, so you don't have to try to copy it off the screen. But this is what it does. It calls into the devenv batch file, and then it grabs and parses all of the output from that and turns around and sets those as environment variables into PowerShell. Maybe there's a smarter way to do this now, but this is the way that I set up a long time ago, and so still want to keep doing. But so I'll put this in the description just for you so you can grab it later if you want it. That's what it does, though. It essentially imports the devenv environment variables into my PowerShell. Naming, yay! All right, so we saw the compile test work, or the incremental test work. Let's go look at the OBJ, and we're going to look at our tracking files in debug tracking enus JAJP enus. We should now see our SWID tag. Yeah, right down here. I don't have to look. There it is. I don't have to search. There it is, right there. SWID tag as an intermediate file, no longer listed as an input because it's not. It is generated during the build process. It is an intermediate file. It does not control the updating of the process. Only the outputs and the inputs do. It feels pretty good. Actually feels really good right now. Take a moment, enjoy life. Be like, yeah. Felt like turning the music up a little bit, but I thought I would just let it roll since I'm. Oh, this is good. Wow. All right. Zach, I'll send you the script. You can let me know if it works for you in your world. It's always worked for me in this world, simple as it is. I don't know. I feel pretty good about this. What do you guys think? Like, this is good, right? Right? This is a little bit of success, finally. After weeks and weeks and weeks of tracking down this thing, hunting it. I mean, I should go back and look and see, when did we start doing the incremental build? And figure it out. All right, so what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now, knowing that we still have a whole hour left to work together? Feels very good. All right, I think one of the things I'm going to do is, let's do a little bit of Git work here and get our world put together. Let's see. Oh, let's go ahead and let this test finish. Here I was holding it, assuming that it worked. I knew it was going to work, but actually let it finish and come up green. So that's great. That is now green. All right, we need to clean out a bunch of things because I've left in a lot of code that was for debugging purposes only. I've done some work in progress commits just to make sure I didn't lose things and stuff like that. So you know what? Let's go take a little bit of work. You can see how I do Git. I know there are lots of other ways, there are lots of ways people do it their own way. I kind of do a mix of a UI and the command line. I do a lot of stuff from the command line, but then when I want to commit subsets of lines, I definitely use a UI because the small line commits from the command line, I don't even know how to get started. So, and I know Visual Studio is bringing more tooling in, but for me, I've kind of gotten used to using SourceTree. This is the tool that I've been using for a long time. For me, the visualization of the history is very useful, just so I can see all the different things that are going on. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to make this thing bigger. So I'm sorry that's small. I could try to put, you know what, let's just give it a shot. Let me do a plus here. Windows plus, right? There we go. Ooh, that's plenty big. You guys can see that, I hope. Oh yeah, everything is big. I can't see anything else now. Maybe not that much. Can I go back a little bit? Oh, there we go. Is that better? I feel like that's a little better. Let's see. No, not 200. Can I get something less than 200? I don't know. That is not an experiment that's working for me. Too bad. All right. Had a bunch of stuff flying all over the screen. All right. Well, Anyway, I use this history quite a bit just to see things and how they're going. And you can see that this Let's code that we've been working on here, my incremental build, I have one work in progress where I shoved a whole bunch of stuff just to make sure I'll lose it in an accidental clean. And we have a lot to do to bring it all the way up to the top. So I think that's probably what we're going to kind of work our way up here to do, is let's go ahead and get all our changes in, do our rebasing, do our cleans ups, get the things into better commands, because we've been really focused on, day to day. I just wanted to focus on one episode after another, just plowing our way through, trying to get to the bottom of it. And now that I feel like we're actually somewhere, let's go back and say, let's try to make more logical commits than blam, all three of these things work. It's not going to be really clean because I'm not going to try to separate all the parts, all the bugs separate, because as I mentioned earlier, they're all layered on top of each other with the same fundamentals and everything built on top. But let's go ahead and look at this. So the first thing I do is I just take everything and I commit it with a whip. Work in progress. It's a very simple thing. If I ever see this being pushed somewhere else, that's bad. I created a branch a long time ago, Robman incremental build. I do this based off of my name on GitHub and incremental build because as the maintainer on the Wix toolset, I get to create branches directly against the Wix toolset. Other developers that want to work on Wix toolset don't. They have forks, then they do their pull requests over, but this is just faster for those of us that work on this day to day. Rather than going through a fork, keeping a fork up to date, I get to work on the main line. It's a bonus. Want to come join us? Come write lots of code in the Wix toolset, and you can join Bob, Sean, and I on the main line. Get it straight into the vein. All right, great. So I've got the work in progress here. Now, I've got actually two work in progresses that I need to split into more than one commit for sure. Let's go ahead and I've updated develop. So I have this little script that I use, or a little alias actually, that I call devup, that does the magic command that I never can remember. Let's see. I don't think there's anything. I have a git command that helps me. I never remember. It's like origin head develop, and it just brings develop up to date. So I'm on my branch, and then I can rebase onto the dev branch. So you'll also notice I have this tag X way back here. This was back where I set the whip. Now that I've committed again, my branch has moved to the second whip. I drop these little X, Y, Z tags regularly, or whenever I do an operation, because they're essentially a way of I call it dropping a tag, so I can always jump back into that place in the history. In this case, I might as well bring it up here, so I'm just going to force X to where I'm at right now. All right, great. So what I have now is I have the tag X on top of my two work in progresses, and I'm going to go ahead and I also have this command called pull, which does a pull and a fast forward and a prune all in one. So it does a pull with a fast forward, so I never get merge commits. And then it does a prune, which cleans up a whole bunch of the dead branches. And you can see here it deleted these old branches from out there. So when we get over here, hopefully we'll see less branches floating around, which we do. Yeah. I have this Robman incremental build backup. That must have been some attempt where I was starting to get nervous about where things are going and create that branch. I will probably kill that after we get this thing going, but whatever. And Bob has something out there that is still waiting to get merged or whatnot. So all good, great. I'm interested in the develop branch, so I'm going to now take my stuff and rebase on top of it. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. So this is the dangerous part, where you can lose things in your merge commits and all that kind of good stuff. And this is why I always drop a tag before doing that. That's why X is where I'm at now. If anything goes wrong, I can just go, forget it, reset hard back to X. And I know that I don't have, it takes a whole lot of pressure off of the rebase. You can always do rebase abort, but if things get really screwy, it's always nice to know that you have a tag. And the tag essentially means that I don't have to remember the tiny little SHA hash number that's way over here. 1D753C5. I'm not gonna remember that. All right, git rebase, develop. Here we go. I know we're gonna have merge conflicts here because I've been doing so much work in all the rest of the Wix tool set that I've probably collided with my own stuff. So you guys get to watch me try to work my way through a bunch of commits. All right, now here I could use a source tree. Close to the right, we're gonna close all that. So, but the source tree is, actually, you know, sorry, real quick. Number 2. For Zach, put the following in the show notes from today. There you go, show. I won't forget now, Zach. Okay. And I can get rid of this dead file here. No, don't save it. All right, cool. So now, since I can zoom in code, no, I don't want to help write in PowerShell. I can bring these changes up over here and you guys will be able to see them better. I just like the color. Sometimes helpful. Okay, now we get to figure out where we're at. Okay, so these changes were made. Validate the output if there are cube files that were not explicitly suppressing invalidation. All right, so head says this code has been removed. And that's right, because cube files are now, or validation is done now out of the core running of bind database. So all of this stuff is gone. That's why head has it. This is what it used to look like, the parent of this. It used to look like this code, and here's what my code looks like. Which, if you notice, looks a whole lot like parent, except I have this hack thing in it. And that hack thing is in there so I can report the timestamps when we're trying to track down why the timestamps of the merge modules were not working correctly. So I think if I hit accept current change, it does all that for me. Alternatively, if I don't want to push their button, I could go through and delete all this. This is the way I used to do it in the old days. Delete the whole thing. There we go. That's fine. Save that file. And then one thing I always have to remember to do, make sure I search that there's not another issue. They will remind me if there's still things, but I'm gonna try to get that right. Okay, cool. And then I made changes to this file, but it's deleted, which is fine. I need to get rid of all these little files that were helping me things. Let's see, the go command was deleted by us and modified by them. Oh, what would you like to do? Yeah, it's time to delete that file. Great. That file's gone. Great. We're done with that file. All right, that's our first merge conflict. It's not too bad. Get rebase, continue. Let's keep on keeping on. Yeah, so we're gonna keep this whip. This is the first, I don't even know if it's the first whip or the second whip. I should have named them differently, shouldn't I? Yeah, all right, my bad. And we have another conflict here. So let's go look at the conflicts again. Merge changes. Okay, so, wow, that's noisy. What did we do to the Wix proj package? Let's see, the Wix test data, Wix package, VCX Windows app. All right, so in our extended test, probably mine is right. Yeah, okay. So here you can see the software tag was added. What other changes were made? Wix, that. So head has all of these things and it gave it an actual upgrade code, probably because I was getting a validation error about that one, because 000 is not a valid upgrade code. So we'll go ahead and bring their upgrade code that they added, past me added that upgrade code here, and the rest of that looks the same, and we definitely want to keep the software tag because that's covering that part of the test. Delete, delete. That looks pretty good, right? I think, yep, better. Go ahead and put that in the mix and get rebase continue. And we'll call this whip 2 just so that as we're going along there. Now we have whip 1 and whip 2, and hopefully all my changes are on the top. And we bring it back to source tree. Again, there are other tools that will show you all this kind of stuff, this history and things like that. I've just gotten used to source tree, even though I don't use, I hardly use any of the features. I use it to visualize, and then I use it to do small line commits, mostly because I haven't figured out how to do it in code, and I haven't done it in Visual Studio. I find the Visual Studio's history is ugly. This one's prettier. I don't know, it's the colors? I don't know. All right, so you can see we still have our tag X floating out here because we still have our two guys here. All right, now what I really want to do is bring up another, let's see here. Can I type? No. Oh. Another prompt here. Let's see. And Wix 4. Okay. All right, we don't have anything else going on. So while we're doing all these changes, I really want to kick a build off in the background. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to be staring at the code for a little bit, so let's go ahead and kick a build off. So I'm going to do build clean. This is going to delete the build and packages directory out of here. It's going to delete the generated global.json and generated packages or directory.packages.props files from the source directory, which is what wires up all our layers together. And then it also goes to my NuGet cache and deletes all of the Wix stuff out of the NuGet cache to make sure that on the next build, it gets all of my versions. So that's good. Now we're going to do time this is another little PowerShell thing I wrote to just wraps this with a time command. Clear screen and build. All right, so we're gonna let that guy go ahead and roll over here for a bit. That'll take a while, 10 minutes or so. So while it's doing that, let's go back into our diffs here. And actually, I'm gonna drop the new tags. Let's see here. Whoop, not that one. Other command prompt. So like I said, I do a mix of the UI tools to visualize, and then I do all my commands for Git over here. So I talked about dropping tags, and I end up with X, Y, and Z quite a bit. So now I've dropped another tag. So I now have X still on my old world before the rebase, and I now have Y on my new world after the rebase. Why do I do that? Because, well, now I'm going to take incremental build and I'm going to send it back to the state of develop with all of my changes all in a mishmash, and then I'm going to start going forward and adding the commits, or adding the lines or the individual files, however I want to break this up, into individual commits going forward. And I keep X around because we saw it passing. We saw everything working at X. That's good. X is a very good place to be. And now I'm doing Y because, well, we had a couple merge commits, so I don't want to lose Y in case we need to go back there if my reset back to goes back. And this is how I end up with X's and Y and Z. If I end up in X, Y, Z, and then I start back in A, B, C, I know I've ended up in something way more complicated than I really wanted to get into. But it's not uncommon for me to end up with X and Y. Again, I just dropped the tags, so I'm super, super safe. So now that we've done that, I should be able to reset the head back to, and this is just a soft reset, back to, which will put me back to develop. I guess I could do head tilde 2, or I could just say develop, which will take me back whip to back whip, and then I'll be right here, add safe uninstall from Sean from just yesterday? I forget when it was this. Yeah, just yesterday. That he committed that, but it will still have all of my changes, all these changes all over the place on disk. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. There we go. Now if we look at the history, we're going to see we have X loading over here, still where it was with that big long line of missing stuff. Then we have Y holding on to our two changes, and then we have all of our changes in one big glob. So that's what I wanted. So all these files in one change. Now I have to go back through and start thinking about how I want to start breaking this up. All right, so what have we done here? Oh, that's interesting. So look, I commented out a bunch of tests for expediency's sake, which is not a good thing. Have we already gotten past them? Oh, all right. This is interesting. So we broke the build. Unable to find Wix tools SDK with the version. Yeah. I was afraid doing all this while I was building would make things weird. Wix toolset SDK was not found. Oh, wait. No, that's a build. Oh, it's probably things I commented out. Let's look real quick and see if this is a thing I comment. Yeah, see right here. I took out tests and publishing around that. All right, well, all this needs to go. We need all of this stuff to happen again. So I commented all this stuff out. I commented all this stuff out. I'm sure this is too small. I'm sorry. I really should, you know what? Let's just try to bring it up in code and see if I can see these things. So Zach's asking, it's not an issue if you don't have overlapping changes, but why not do an interactive rebase where you can break apart the existing individual commits? So the 2 commits that I made were just take a whole bunch of stuff and throw it together. They were not organized in any way, shape, or form. So I made one commit, put it in just so I didn't lose it, and then we did a couple things in the last 2 episodes, and that's what was in that second commit, and I just shoved all that. It's not at all a coherent collection of things. So an interactive rebase would require like splitting, and I find it much easier to just go, I'm going to go back to here and then work my way back through the logical units of code that I want to commit together. It's not perfect. A better way to do it is to focus on one issue and fix it. But when we get all these things intertwined together, sometimes it's just hard for me to stop, look at everything exactly and go, all right, this is what I want, this one and this one and this one and this one, and know that I've got a good place to stop. It's just, challenge there. All right, so if I open this, is this going to give me the diff? Yes, it is. Okay, this is good. Let's see what do we get here. All right, that's a white space change, not terribly interesting. And this adds the msbuild all projects command to make sure that on incremental build, everything builds. You know what? This by itself is a good change, independent of everything. It can go in now to make sure that when we compile, any changes to previous projects cause us to compile, project references cause us to compile again. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I have to start writing messages. Right? Oh, okay, yeah. So I don't do this. So this is where, okay, I'm gonna go back to source tree real quick. It should catch up. Yep, there you go. It figures out, there's the 2 changes. Man, I really wish I could make the font. Can I do the font bigger? Tools, options, let's try real quick. Updates, general. There's probably a font in here somewhere. I've not looked for it in the past. Diff, diff. Console is there, change font. Normal. Size, let's go 14. 14 looks pretty good, I think. No, maybe not. Look bigger than it is. Let's go to 16. 16? I don't know. Is that? No, that's not big enough. All right, 18. Here we come. 19. Wait, that looks like it just made the side bigger. I don't know. Does that change anything? I don't feel like that changes anything. I asked it to make the diff bigger, and all it did was made the size on the left bigger. All right, let's hit F5 real quick because that will refresh the UI. Oh, there we go. Hit F5 and it does. All right, hopefully you guys can read this. Okay, so what the reason I like source tree for this particular thing too, and again, you probably can do this in VS Code, I just haven't worked with VS Code enough, is this little gray bar here is set at 72 characters, and I try to follow the create a title, a blank line, then write a paragraph, or what, if you create a title, if it's 1 line is enough, that's fine, and then blank line, and then put a paragraph, sentence, 2 sentences, whatever is necessary, a separate thing, and I try to keep that within the 72 characters, and this little gray line helps me do that really easily. So what are we going to say here? This says this commit will add, fix? Yes, will ensure core compile rebuilds when project references are updated. When project reference, when referenced projects are updated. I'm channeling my inner Bob here. All right. And that's probably enough for that. Then I hit commit. There. Then I go through. Now that this diff is big enough, I'm going to work in here because it's where I'm comfortable. Fair enough. I usually end up with a bunch of overlapping edits that I want to keep separate, so rebase is starting to become my hammers. Oh yeah, if you have edits that you committed small and you just want to kind of move them around, or in my case, sometimes I do the right thing with small edits, and then I'm like, I've been doing well with small edits because I was working on small things, and I'm like, oh, I committed that, and here's a small change I need to make that. I will absolutely rebase, affix, I will commit a thing, call it, rebase into, then the hash number, and then during the rebase I say, all right, now squash this little fix into the bigger fix so it all gets together. Do that all the time. This is the case where I ran off and did way too much in one set of work, and now I have to take it apart and try to put it back together in a logical way. This says, okay. This is a change to the SDK targets. Oh, wait. Do we continue the build? I forgot. Let's go back over here and look. Oh, we didn't continue this build. All right, let's do another build clean while we're working on running through our commits. And let's just hope that by fixing the Wix project, this will run to its entirety. All right. So this change, I think, well, actually, this is where VS Code is better. Now, having this spread out over so long, kind of have to remember what work we did here. And I think this is because I saw that Wix toolset. So what's here? This is saying set the Wix targets path if it's not been set already in the Wix toolset SDK targets. And Wix toolset.SDK.props sets Wix targets here. So this is always setting it. So this is not doing anything. The props file, which gets included at the top of the SDK project, always sets the Wix targets path. And then the targets file says, hey, if it's not set, go ahead and set it to this, which can't happen. So that's why this is removed. Let's go ahead and make that a separate commit. We're doing our little cleanup. Essentially, these first couple things are cleanup of various targets files. Actually, before we do that, let's take a quick look around. Any other targets things? No, most of these are changing the test projects, adding our library result, which was from a long time ago, software tag fixture. Don't want those launch settings. We're gonna get rid of this hack. Yeah, so the rest of this is gonna be code changes that are not related to this. All right, so clean up. I just say remove redundant assignment of Wix targets path in targets. The Wix targets path is correctly assigned in the Wix toolset.sdk.props. Haha, made it fit. So you can see there, got the inner line. Here we go. No need to do or doing so again in the Wix toolset.sdk.targets file is redundant. All right, I'll let the period carry over. All right, cool, done. Now we get into the code. Let's take a quick peek at our build. Build failed. Arithmetic overflow. Ooh. What did I break? Core integration build fit manifest set. All right. Let's go ahead and bring up the code. No point in continuing trying to get the lines right. This is why. So here I'm not freaking out because I know I have those tags. If worst comes to worst, we just give up on everything. I reset back to those tags and I make sure that, or I commit what I have, I reset hard back to those tags, make sure everything's passing again, and then work my way back here. It could have been that I messed something up in the merge, and I'm not too worried. I'm only losing time, which is not great, but I know that I can at least get back to where I need to be. Whoops, wrong one. This is not the Let's Code. This is the working, where I work on the other issues that when you guys aren't with me. All right, so here we go. And we're gonna open ncrunch. Are you up and running? No, all right, you're running. Let me see. Show me my tests, please. Control-Shift-M. We're gonna put you on top of the test explorer. All right, we're gonna hit that run. All right, let's go. Extensions ncrunch. Show me my wrist progress bar. I like to put that down at the bottom. That's entirely too big, but that's okay. So what this is doing is telling me how far how many tests I have left to run, and it shows me the color of it so far. It'll turn red as soon as one of them fails. Oh, are you going to run all the tests cleanly? How interesting. How interesting. That's not helpful. What is the issue here? Arithmetic overflow populates BA manifest package information. That seems like something I might have gotten close to. No, that's layout files. Bind phase, that's layout files. It's writing. Oh, this is my hack. Oh, so the hack is now getting in the way. You know what? We need to get rid of the hack anyway. All right, here we go. That's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to get there with the source code. So here, let's look at this. This is that hack I added to the middle of everything. And all it did was terrible things here with the, creating a temp file and the tilde with the timestamps. And then it just allowed me to write out a whole bunch of state of the, transfers and all that kind of stuff. It was very useful for the time. We have it back and tags holding on to it and other things if I really need to go hop back and get it for a hot minute. But right now it's time for this to go because clearly the hack is getting in the way of actual code working. So probably the easiest way, go find hack.cs, please. Thank you. And thank you for your service, sir, but you are now to be gone. And I think I did a very hacky thing. And I created another one in the Windows installer because I needed them in multiple places. I might even create one in the bundles, but I don't think I did. Hack.cs. All right, great. Now, we're going to lean on Ncrunch to go ahead and help me find all the failures where hack is now gone. And it's going to be as simple as that, please. No build necessary. Ncrunch will just find them all for me. Yes, yes, very good. Now over the Windows installer, we'll grab those, get rid of the start, get rid of that line. That one. Start looking from the bottom. I see you. All the hack things go away. Yes, hack. 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 Oh, the things we do to hunt down the bugs. There we go. Okay, groovy. We need to get rid of all that anyway. That code wasn't going to get checked in. Certainly, how many people are going to have a tilde folder on their machine that if it didn't exist, everything blows up? I had to make sure it always existed before we started running these projects. All right, Ncrunch says it's okay. I am inclined to agree, mostly out of hope, not out of fact. So we'll do another clean here. It's taking us 2 minutes to get here. That's fine. We need to get rid of that code anyway. All right, time this, build, clean, go. Zoom, zoom. All right. Back to here, the hack code is gone, so we can continue on with the things that we want to see. All right, what is this diff? This diff has a couple things in it. One, we refactored our library phase work to not save the file right away, and I think... Yes, where did that go? Oh, it came down here to the library phase, and we save it as part of the library phase. We don't return it, we save it in here, and then we also call layout files. And that was important to get the incremental build files, the tracking files written. That's why it was important. So that's that code. That was that change. Here is the layout files was refactored into a function, so we could call it up here. So all this kind of has to go together. All right, cool. So that's the change to build command, was our refactoring of layout files so we could use it from library, from the library. Here is our additions to when we were extracting embedded files from Wixlibs. So that's good. We had to do this. We changed them from temporary to intermediate, and we started tracking the Wixlib itself as, or sorry, the extension as an input. Here we are tracking those tags. This is the thing we just did today. Okay. Merge modules. Hey, we tracked the files coming out of the merge modules as input. Oh, we're tracking the merge modules as input. So this is the merge modules, MSM files themselves being tracked as inputs. And here are the files that are extracted from the merge module being tracked as intermediate files. Yay. The bind database command, of course, was updated to no longer have all the hack stuff, but it now tracks the fact that the merge modules command has, that merge modules are written in source codes. When we merge them, we track the files from those merge modules. We track the software tags, and we track the merging of the merge modules files. Yay. And then finally, we also did this work here at the end to solve this to-do to appropriately track the input files and make sure all of them were listed as inputs, but not if they were intermediates. So if they were intermediates or temporary files, then we skipped them. Otherwise, every field that was an object, which means something that points to a disk, we had to then add as an input. It's always amazing. When I get down to looking at these changes at this point, I'm like, well, obvious, this was the thing that had to happen. I mean, it's so clear. Why did it take us, I need to go back and figure out when we started this, 9 episodes or whatever, 9 weeks, it didn't take 9 weeks, 9 times, hour and a half, whatever that is, I'm not doing the math, but 9 times an hour and a half, 9 times 90 minutes, whatever that is, 810 minutes. Why did it take us 810 minutes? Now I'm even second guess that. Why did it take us 810 minutes to get to this when this is clearly what is going on? It's amazing. All right, so we also add the library result because we needed to return more data out of the library, which is all of this. Yeah, the tracked files and the library itself, because the library will end up having to track the files that end up getting extracted and put into it. Yep. Here's the librarian doing just that, tracking its files and returning the library. And for any file that ended up being an input to the library, we end up tracking it. And then the iLibrarian, we added comments to it, and we returned a library result instead of just the raw intermediate. So the library result contains the intermediate, the thing, all the object files, well, they're not object files anymore, but all the compiled content squished together, and then the files that were tracked as part of that. We are not going to be sending this along. I can delete this file right now. This is whenever we wanted to debug the Wix XC, we would create that. All right, here are the changes we made to the product tag test. What's in here? We made a local project package name as we were trying to track down why the package was why the build was crashing, throw an exception, because when adding a tag, and in the end we discovered not through this, I intuited out of nowhere, I intuited the yes, there was a question mark in the ENUS or in the JP localization that was putting a question mark in the path name for the software tag through a loc variable which was not being validated, and that's an issue that's still open against episode 11. We'll go back and review those if we have time today. All right, and this is me switching to use these package names and things like that. I don't know, should I keep this test? Yeah, I'm going to keep this test. And this test is independent, actually. I'm going to keep this test, and then I'm going to update it and put a question mark in one of these so that it can come from a bind time variable. So when I go tackle that episode 11 where we need to handle bad paths that go sneak by the compiler, because the compiler would have caught it, but because we bypassed the compiler and the data comes straight in the binder's like, well, it must be a valid path because the compiler checked it. And of course, the bind variable goes around all that. I think I'll keep this test and we will do that separately. So let's go ahead and we're going to stage that. I think we're going to do that separately. All right, here we have all of the tests that have been making our lives good. And we need to go back and look at some of this. Why is this here? Oh, this is messing. Oh, this is skipped without edits. I think these lines should be removed. So we'll want to look at that. Otherwise, all these other tests are great. Glad we have them. We'll go back and make sure that all that is good. So we need to look at that one a little bit more. These are a Wix proj. This is a strange Wix proj. This is all hacked up to work only on my machine. I hope we don't need that one. Where is that? Source test Wix proj library. Don't know about that one. Here we added the UI. That's good. We'll keep that. Here we have our thing that was trying to make our test really big or take a long time. So I'm going to take these changes out, discard those lines because they're commented out. We don't need them. This is the one thing I don't like about source tree. Every once in a while, if the files change or when the files change, it'll do a refresh, and it does that by refreshing the whole UI. So if you have something selected, it throws all that out on you, which is not nice. Hey, look, our build has been running since all that background, so I think the problem was our hack code not behaving well in the unit test, which is fine because I'm sure I didn't write it to be unit code. So yeah, probably actually a whole bunch of the unit tests were running at the same time and then all colliding on the hack file where I was trying to track all the files and just blowing up terribly, which is fine. I don't care about any of that. All right, so this was our workaround for SWID tags until we tackle that other problem. We will need that change. What did we do here? Okay, so we deleted these extra. Oh, I see. These are just deletes. That's fine. That's a delete. And there's our library result. Okay. Man, I guess there's a little bit more here than I thought. Okay. So what are we doing here? This, all right. Update test to use. Should library extension get the new library result? Should library extension get all right, let me look at that, Bob. Update SWID tag test to use Wixel file for bind variable validation. This is in preparation for doing additional. You see how it's blinking? That blinking is because there's a build behind the scenes that's updating files that source tree is like, oh, this is in my repo. I need to refresh to see if any files changed. And it's running a git command and then it refreshes. So that's what that blinking is about. It's one of the things I don't like about source tree. I wish they'd go, oh, there are no updates that I need to care about and do that. But that would mean they'd have some way of telling what the changes currently are, what the changes were, note they're the same, and then not blink the UI, but whatever. It's fine. Doing additional tests using bind variables. Fine. Okay, we're going to commit that. Yay, we are very far along, so I'm not too worried about the world now here. Okay. Although committing while the build is running is weird because our version numbers are based off of the commits. So technically speaking, as I commit, things that haven't built are getting different build numbers than the things that are already built. I wonder if that'll create problems. No, because I don't actually, now that I say that, I don't know which way it's going to go. You don't normally do this. So if the build fails because of some versioning problem, it's probably because I was committing while doing this. All right, while I was working. Okay, and it was in extensions now, right? Yeah, it was like a SQL extension. Yeah, this is the Visual Studio extension. All right, so I can bring up the core tool set again. Actually, library result. All right, so Bob wanted me to look at library in extension. Library context. Oh, the post combine? You think so, Bob? I think you're probably right. Yeah, right? This is what you're thinking, right? Yeah. So it's a good point. It's a good thought, because if you want to do something post-combine that ends up adding more files to the world, you might want to be able to add those to the library result. But this being a read-only collection, the tracked files being a read-only collection, means you can't add them to this. So I'm wondering if we should make this a list. Do we do that for other things? Library result, please. Where are we? Thank you. Like bind result or resolve result. Yeah, these guys are all settable. Yeah, he's settable. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, good. Nope, it's fine. Because you can override the entire collection. So you can take the existing collection, create a new collection from it, and then add your stuff to it, and then sign it back to the result. I think that's fine. That feels better. Okay, so you can override it. That's good. I like that better than expecting it to be a list and having it there. Yeah, I think updating, I think we need to let people update them, and with the set they can. But they won't initially be like, yeah, just add things willy-nilly. No, you need to think about taking the existing list, creating a new list, and assigning it here. That will work. All right, cool. So I think that's that. That means we're going to break everything. That's okay. We're going to go track that down next. How's our build rolling? Oh, that's good. Oh, look at that. We're in the Wix end-to-end tests. Yes. That's very good because mostly these tests these tests actually, the Wix end-to-end tests run, and we already got through all the burn tests, which end up building tons of things. So this build up here does a nice job of building lots of bundles and packages and things like that. So it's like great way to kind of brush off or to push on the Wix toolset a whole bunch. Even if it doesn't cover a lot of space because they're all really simple packages, it does like beat on the compiler running a lot. And here we get to watch our tests. These are all of our end-to-end tests that we've been working on these weeks. Run right here. It's very exciting, isn't it? Look at all that output. Tasty output. Anything? Anything? Boom. Passed. Passed. Failed. 0. I still do not like the output from XUnit there. I really wished failed was somewhere later. I know you want to see failed probably first, but still, passed, failed, always makes me nervous. All right, and here is one of the bug fixes I did in the last week, zipping up everything. All right, there we go, 14-minute build. Boom. All right, now that we know that's worked, that means we're back into a level playing field. Everything is happy, including our tests. Let's go ahead and bring up, we need to go build the library again, actually, I guess. I think that's what has to happen. Let's go ahead and delete all the Wix. I want to delete all the Wix stuff, but leave the build. Okay. All right. Why did I do that? Because I need to go back and build the library extension. All right. Also, since we're here, can I do this? No, I'm not gonna like that. All right. Let's go and bring up the API. Yeah, API. All right. So, other window. This one. All right, cool. Drop over the API. Let's open the API solution. Open project solution. API solution. Please. Thank you. No, I don't want to upgrade. Why do you think I'd want to upgrade? Why would I want to upgrade? I explicitly set these things this way. These are tests. Wix tests. How weird. All right, whatever. I don't look at this solution very often. Okay, what did we just change? Extensibility. Library extension. Yes. I want Visual Studio to help me here. Okay. Let's look at the linker extension. What does it say? Hey, all binder extensions implement. That's not quite right. Fine. We'll all librarian extensions implement. Such great terminology here. Call before linking occurs. This is now call before library combining occurs. The versions are set in directory.star, which OBS ignores, so it thinks upgrades are needed. I see. Oh, is that the directory.packages thing? Is that what's going on there, Bob? after all combining happens. When the librarian needs to resolve. I feel like I'm using the definition in the things, but I'm using the word in its definition, I guess. It needs to resolve a file. Like, well, yeah, but what else am I going to say? All right, so source line number that required the file, symbol definition. Intermediate the symbol that requires the file. That requires a file? I don't know. File. We're doing periods here. Path. The provided path to the file returns now I have to go remember. Yeah. The resolved file result or null if the extension did not resolve the file. I need to go double check that. I'm pretty sure that's what it does, but I'm just like saying it like it's truth. Optional resolve file result. There we go. Hey, look, this already has. Oh, well, why don't I just take that? That's much better text. Yes. Much better text. No, not that one. No, not that one. This one. All right, great. Getting some more documentation here, and this is result combined library result. And what did we? That's fine. Okay, great. One less interface with no documentation. I document these because these are actually public interfaces. These are the things that if you want to extend the Wix tool set, this is the kind of stuff you see. We don't document all the individual function side Wix tool set because that takes way too long and provides questionable value. But here, if you want to just like, hopefully if we get that right, if you're doing IntelliSense and you're running a library extension, you'll see these. So there we go, library extension. Linker extension, thank you, linker extension, that was very helpful. And now we got to fix him because he now takes, aha. But don't we need to do the inherit doc thing? Okay, now, okay, wait. All right. Someone should be upset here. Base librarian extension. There we go. Oh, I was right here the whole time. Post this. Why are you not upset? Oh, you are. There it is. This is what I was looking for. Does not return a result. That's right. And I thought on these base guys, we put inherit doc on them. No? Can't we do inherit doc on these? Am I going crazy? That's not the one I wanted. I really thought we would have done inherit doc on these. Yes, base. Where's the... Okay. Too many of these unrelated files open. Oh, that was realized later. I see. All right, well, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to do this for now. Maybe we go through and do an inherit doc pass at some point. Although some of these things have stuff on them that the interface does not, so that's something. Okay, all right, now let's go back to our source tree and let's take a quick look at all the things we did in API. The base library extension, yeah. All right. Great, so we just fixed the text on that. Library extension, yay, do all that, and there's the library result. Okay. Actually, unstage all those. This. I can't send you in because you need that. Okay. All right. So when I hit one of these and it says like this minor code cleanup, I start going around looking, all right, do I have any more of those minor code cleanup things? I don't know that I really do this time. It's pretty good about make sure the things I did are all things that need to be done. I need to go back and fix the calls in the core. Yeah, okay. Okay. Minor comment fix. All right, let's go build the API. So that should give us all those things, and we'll bring Wix back. Wix, we're done with the API here. All right, can I never really trust this, but it should work. And we want Wix 4 back, please. Finish, 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 go, go, go. All right, great, thank you. Now this hopefully finished. And it's upset about all the things it has to resolve yet. Oh, hopefully I can. Didn't delete too much, but it's probably okay. What was I looking for? Library and library result. No, library result. Right. Oh, right. Sorry. That's where you're created. I want to go see where you get used. So librarian. I can spell. Was it post combine and no longer takes the library? Oh, of course. We don't have everything we need here. All right, let's see. I guess we can assign them in the result. That'll be the same. So we got to pass the result to the post combine. Oh, no, this is because I deleted all the core and I haven't done a build here to get all my pieces resolved. I don't know if it's going to do a resolve or not here. There we go, it's getting better. Ugh. Cannot convert that to that. Okay, show me. But I just fixed that extension post combine. All right. Yeah, okay, fine. This is me messing up my layer builds real fast. Okay, so I think that's the change. That should get the library. Can we do a restore for me, please? Where is it? Restore. There's nothing to restore. I disagree, but it's all right. You're clearly missing all the references to the data assembly. All right, I think, is that what I want it to look like? So there's the result. Library. Validate, and then in the result gets set in the finally. Could also, I don't usually put the return inside the finally. That would be a little weird. I do like this better though, Bob. Passing the result. I think that's definitely better. Just don't like doing that simply for that. This feels a little odd too. Yeah, you're not gonna like that, are you? Yeah. Yep, I didn't think so. It looked odd, and that's why, 'cause it's not allowed. All right, there we go. We'll just call that. There. So now we create the result. We have a place to store the library, and we will be able to track all the files. And then we go off and do all the work, and finally we populate the result with information, and then we call off and we return. Pain with all the fallout. Yeah, it's all right. It's the right thing there. Okay. So what are we gonna do? I'm gonna do a real quick clean everything and build again. Make sure that, because those are interface changes, you never know. All right. Can you believe it's been an hour and a half? How exciting, how time flies. I'm gonna kick this build off. I'm gonna go and continue. You guys don't need to watch me submitting all of these tiny little changes, because honestly, I'm not sure that I saw much in here that I wanna break into smaller changes. I think the rest of this is all gonna go in together as one commit, as the change that makes incremental build work, because it is all these pieces together that make incremental build work out in the end. Essentially updates to the library result to track its files, tracking more files, marking them intermediates, marking more merge modules content intermediate, marking more the software tags as intermediate content, the files being cabbed or extracted from cabs, or from extensions in this case, this code here, and then managing all those tracked files, and then making sure that we always generate a layout files, we always generate track files as part of layout, and we always call layout even after librarian. I think this is all right here, stage all, boom. This is the commit that ends up bringing us incremental build. It's great having you guys here. It's fantastic fun. This is a huge win. I'm sure there are still smaller areas, probably more things in bundles to do, but this gets the bugs that are open, and there are still issues with referencing projects that have to be published. I know about that, but that's not on us. That's on the other projects to get them fixed. So there's only gonna be so much we can do there. But this is fantastic. Incremental build working. So many things are improved in Wix 4 around all of our MS Build integration. I am very excited about getting it done, and this is a huge step in that direction. So I'll be back next week. Tomorrow, hey, come hang out again. We're going to be doing the Wix online meeting at 9:30. So that's less than 24 hours away, and we'll continue moving things along. I don't know if the meeting tomorrow will be very long, but come hang out, ask questions, things like that. I'll be back here in another week with something else to do, because I think we're finally done with incremental build. It's been a fantastic adventure. Welcome. Thank you for being here. In the meantime, you keep coding, because you know I am. Bye.